Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher, and this is Sweetwater's iOS Update. This time out on the update, I've got a great app for helping you select microphones in the studio no matter what instrument you're recording. I've got a wonderful synthesizer from our friends at Moog, and I've got an addition for the musician's toolbox as well. Let's dive in. One of my jobs here at Sweetwater is to carry on a long tradition of creating a tech tip of the day for our InSync daily newsletter. Now, the tech tip of the day covers everything from guitars to drums, microphones, product-specific questions, live sound, computers, recording. Just about any topic that has something to do with music technology has been touched upon by a tech tip of the day. Now, thousands of tech tips are available up at sweetwater.com, but we wanted to give you a way to have access to that from your iOS device as well. So we created Sweet Tips, a new app that lets you access both the tech tip of the day as well as the complete archive. Now, when you install the free Sweet Tips app, you'll automatically receive each day's tip, but you also have access to the complete archives. The archives have been categorized for you so you can jump right to topics that are of interest. Here's some on iOS. This one covers the new connector on the iPhone 5. And when you have found a topic that you think someone else might be interested in, you can email that or tweet that to them as well. Sweet Tips is a very valuable resource to have in your musician's toolbox. It gives you access to an incredible amount of information covering all sorts of topics related to music technology. This week I've got two great apps for you to check out. First up, Oceanway's Mic Locker. Now, Mic Locker is an app that brings together information on a bunch of different instruments as well as a bunch of different microphones, and then lets you hear those microphones and instruments in combination. Let's look at some examples. So first of all, we can go to our list of microphones. We can see here it starts with the AKG C12, continues on through all the various AKGs, or Audio-Technicas, Audix, Beyerdynamics. Scroll down here, we've got Neumanns, Sennheisers, all sorts of different microphones there. When you click on a microphone, we'll select the Shure 520D. An information screen comes up that tells you all about that microphone with all of the different specs. Now, in similar fashion, we can call up instruments. So we have here acoustic guitar, acoustic 12-string, acoustic bass, clarinet, claves, crash cymbal. We can scroll down and see the variety of different drums, tenor saxophone, tambourine. So a lot of different instruments there. When we select one, we'll click on timbales. It gives you a description of the instrument. And there are also notes here from Alan Sides, who was the owner and engineer producer at Oceanway, and his notes on how to mic that instrument and how to get the best sound out of it. So that's a very useful resource to have right there. But the really cool part about the Oceanway Mic Locker is this combination button over here. On this side, we have our list of microphones. On this side, we have a list of our instruments. So let's call up our AKG C451, and we'll call up piano. Now, when we do that, we get a screen in the center here that gives us the option to play a low note, a mid-range note, a high note, or a complete riff. That lets you hear what that instrument actually sounds like using that microphone. Now we can switch to another microphone and hear what it sounds like on the piano as well. We'll go down here to our Cam 184, the screen opens up, we've got our low, mid, and high notes, and our riff again. Now, when they created this app, they were very careful to place the microphone so that you could do an actual comparison. To hear that, you're going to want to use a good set of headphones or run your iPad's output into a good set of studio monitors, a good set of speakers, so you can really hear those differences. But I think you'll be surprised how much difference there is between the various microphones as you move from the different ones. That makes this a tremendous tool for narrowing in on the proper microphones to use for each source that you're recording. Our second app this week is Animoog from Moog Music, an incredibly powerful synthesizer for your iOS device. Now, Animoog can do everything from analog type sounds to all kinds of synthetic effects to things that are derived from acoustic sounds. Lots of different timbres available in the synthesizer, and you have full control over shaping those as well. You have the different synthesis sections over here. You also have a variety of different screens that let you do programming, routing mod sources. Lots of different modulation things can go on, a choice of different timbres to choose from when building your sounds, and a lot of different setup things. And again, you can also purchase additional sounds and load those in as well. Now, the fun part of Animoog is that you have a keyboard down here that you can play on. And it's touch sensitive, so as you move up and down on the actual key, you get, in this case, a change in the filter. But you also, depending on where you play on the key, get velocity response. We've got a pitch bend and mod wheel here. We've got glide. So just like any other synthesizer, you have control over all those different performance aspects. Now, one of the fun parts of Animoog is that you've got this XY pad here, and that can be used for control purposes. So again, you have interactive control there. It also has an oscilloscope display built right into it that we're seeing here. Now there's also a recorder in Animoog. So if you're playing, once you're recorded, it loops, and then you can overdub on top of that. So you can put together little arrangements right inside Animoog itself. Now, a common question is whether you can get those recordings that you made in Animoog out of Animoog into another app, or if you can bring audio from another app into Animoog. You absolutely can. Animoog supports the general pasteboard function, so any other app that's compatible with that will be able to exchange audio. If you're looking to do a real keyboard performance, you might want to plug in an actual keyboard controller. Animoog does support MIDI in and out, and you have control over all the functions, all the MIDI continuous controllers. So if you want to do a performance using a regular keyboard, no problem at all with Animoog. We've really only scratched the surface of what Animoog can do. It's an incredibly powerful synthesizer that lets you create all kinds of new timbres, comes with a lot of different sounds as well, and it's a fun app to play, very interactive when you're working on the screen or you're playing from a keyboard. It's a very powerful synthesizer app to add to your musician's arsenal. Thanks for joining me for the iOS update. One more thing I wanted to tell you, all the audio you heard today was coming through a Dangerous Music source. The Dangerous Music source has an input that's set up to directly receive the output from the headphone jack on an iPhone or an iPad. Then it can route to your speakers. In this case, we're also routing to the cameras. So it's a very flexible device to have in your studio if you're working with iOS devices. Be sure to come back next time. We'll have more hardware accessories, we'll have more apps, we'll have more tips, everything you need for making music with your iOS device. I'm Mitch Gallagher.